What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hawaii Players Pod. I'm Olivia Austin, and we're back after a while. It's been like 2 months since we've shot an episode, but we've got Keoni Thiim. Ugh. I've said it wrong like 4 times before we even started shooting. You're going to have to keep correcting me. I'm sorry.
That's fine. All the announcers say it wrong. I'm used to it.
You just loop me in with everybody else. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Coming.
Yeah, that was a good opportunity. Just got back from Indiana yesterday.
Ooh, how'd that go?
I don't want to go back.
No?
It's cold. Nothing to do around there. It's gloomy. It's rainy. It wasn't too special.
Did they still have snow?
Kinda. It was like icy snow.
Oh, it's like that. After snow gets like 3 days old, it like turns brown and icy, and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah. Played Purdue and Ball State.
When?
Yeah, both of them. Or all 3 of them.
That's good. So you swept it?
We swept 2. No, we won in 4 for 2 and then swept 1.
Mm-hmm. I just learned that word, by the way. Swept means you guys won 3 out of 5 games. I'm really excited for this interview because I don't know a whole lot about volleyball.
Perfect.
So you're going to have to teach me.
I got you.
But I'm excited to learn.
All right.
So you grew up in Hawaii?
Yes, I grew up on Oahu. Grew up in Kamiki. I currently live in Kapahulu, but I went to public school here, Keoni High School. So
interesting. So we had Andrew on the podcast last time we shot, and he went to Kaiser.
Nice.
He
Is that
says
the football guy?
Yes. He says that Kaiser is the beast in the East. And do you have a response to that?
I guess typically Kaiser was actually our rivals. And I don't know. I don't remember winning against Kaiser most of my days in high school, so he could be right on that. We were rivals, but I don't think we won most of the time. We were more, we won academically.
That's what matters.
Academic weapons. I mean, I didn't, but my school did.
I was going to say, how did you attribute to that? Were you?
I should just went to Kaiser. It was more fitting.
Okay.
I was more of an athlete than
not a scholar.
Not typically, no.
You got to be smart. You're at UH right now, so you're not.
I got my best GPA this semester, actually.
Excellent. I'm not going to ask you what it is, but let's just.
It was a 3.6.
Oh, okay. Something to brag about.
That was my best ever.
I think that's probably the highest I ever got too.
Well, they put money on the line these days, so the whole team had their best GPA accumulative ever. I don't know what that was, but
oh, I know what you're talking about. Is that where if you have like above a 3.0, they add money to your stipend?
Yes.
That's
Alston.
really cool.
It's called the Alston Agreement with this whole NIL madness going on. So if you get above a 3.0, and then I think if you get higher, like 4.0 or close to that, you get more. And then, yeah.
I would get better grades too. I think anybody would. So before you went to Keoni High School, right? Mm-hmm. You always played volleyball, or did you just kind of like pick it up as you went along?
Yeah, I actually only started playing volleyball my junior year of high school.
High school?
I went to the games as a kid, and I knew all about it. And a lot of my cousins played volleyball, which is on my dad's side. So I was definitely around it. Like I knew how to play, and I would like play in the backyard, I guess, like just pepper around with my cousins. Mm-hmm. But I never played recreationally until my junior year, really. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you because you come from a really big volleyball like legacy family almost. You're on your dad's side. Your grandfather was Mike Wilton.
Mom's side.
Okay. Excuse me. Yeah. Mom's side. Your grandfather is Mike Wilton, who was the winningest head coach of Hawaii volleyball, men's volleyball.
Yeah.
So is that kind of what brought you to volleyball, or was it just kind of like on your own?
I fell in love on my own because growing up with it on both sides of the family, it was typically like I was just there because that was just what I knew. So I was around volleyball a lot, but I fell in love with it on my own. But yeah, my mom's side of the family, super big. He coached at UH as well at BYU, and he currently lives in Utah, and he coaches my cousin's girls team.
Okay, wait. So he coached at Hawaii and then went to BYU Hawaii, or
BYU Provo
okay.
BYU. When they had like Taylor Sanders, and like he's like a national like Olympic guy now.
Okay.
He was like the best outside in the nation. So he's coached some pretty crazy teams and crazy players. And then now he's currently like volunteer coaching for girls at my other cousin at Utah State. So that's what he's doing right now. Still in the game.
Still loving it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what can you say you've learned from your grandfather?
It's actually pretty funny because I'm pretty typically known for my jump serve, and I think he was like the first guy to like take me in and like teach me about it. So I spent like a summer with him in Utah, and he would just like take me into the gym and he would teach me how to serve. So that's probably the biggest thing I've learned from him. He still texts me after like games and all that and gives me advice, but I think in terms of volleyball, he taught me like the basics of how to jump serve. So I guess that's why I'm pretty good at it.
So, okay, I played rec volleyball, so stay with me. I did the underhand, like, box
It's a classic.
serve. And then there's the overhand, right?
Uh-huh.
So a jump serve is when
A jump serve is when you typically toss it generally high and you get like a running approach and you jump kind of like you're hitting it.
it's like a running start.
Yeah, you basically get a running start to get more momentum and like the ball goes faster.
Okay, so what's like the key to a good jump serve?
Well, my grandpa always told me that at first it was the high toss. People get uncomfortable by throwing it too high because then feel like you might miss the ball. But you need that. You need a high toss. So you can get a full approach, and it's pretty mental. Because serving's the only thing in volleyball you do like where it's all revolved around you instead of the team. Like you're the only one doing it.
Okay, yeah. So if you mess up, it's only your fault if you do well.
Yeah. So it's pretty pressuring. So it's a little bit mental game, but you just gotta
That is stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for someone who, if I were to throw the ball up, I probably wouldn't throw it straight. Would that like be bad for a jump serve?
Well, that's where throwing it high comes in.
Right. So I throw it and like it goes behind me. Like then what?
Then you just
I run backward.
you wind up and you hope for the best. I know in the lower leagues, I don't know what level it stops working, but if you toss it really bad and you don't touch it, you can go one more time.
Oh, that's nice. That's a great rule.
Yeah, I don't
should keep
think
that.
it's in the D1 leagues, but I know like growing up in like high school and stuff, if you toss it, but if you touch it, then you lose the point. But if it was really bad tossing, like, okay, I don't want to touch that thing. And you don't touch it, you can go one more time.
Okay. I like that rule. I think they should have it everywhere. But so like in a D1 setting, like can you underhand serve or do you just don't do that?
You can. It's highly unrecommended. I don't think I've ever seen a coach. The only like situation I think that would happen is if they want a serving sub, but the person they want is like a libero or someone who basically they want a defensive sub. So they would just if he can't overhand serve, then he would just underhand serve just so he can try to dig. But I don't think that'll ever happen.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. Just wondering. So then what made you wait until your junior year to play volleyball if your grandfather's such a big coach?
I was a rascal kid. Mom told me to do
Meaning?
this. I did the opposite. Yeah, I did whatever I wanted. I had bad grades, and I just played sports for fun. I didn't really get serious into it. I played football freshman, sophomore year, and then I broke my arm pretty bad.
What happened?
I was playing against Roosevelt, and this kid, it's JV football, and this kid with an ego wanted to have a nice highlight play on me. And basically, I just wasn't looking, and I was totally facing the other way, and I was probably $110, 110 pounds at most, and he sent me flying across the field, and I landed on it wrong.
Oh,
And,
no.
It was a compound fracture. The bone came out of my arm.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's
Out of your arm?
yeah,
Oh, God.
pretty gross.
Surgery then?
Yeah, that night.
Ugh.
That also was part of it. My mom didn't let me play football after that, so
Well,
I
yeah.
was like, I'll just play volleyball.
Why were you playing football anyways if you're 110?
I was an idiot.
Let you play football.
Because, yeah, I don't know. I was dumb. I was a bad kid back in the day. Me and my besties, we used to just go around, come home from school at 7 p.m., 6 p.m., just acting fools. So I didn't really have direction at that time.
Fair.
Broke my arm, and then I had to move to Utah my sophomore year of high school for 1 year.
For what, corrective action?
That was actually family stuff.
Okay.
But everybody except for my dad moved up to Utah. And
Do you have family in Utah?
yeah, that's where Mike and my grandma were living at the time.
Okay.
So I went to go live with them. So that's also where I played I played in Utah my sophomore year. So I guess you can say I started volleyball sophomore year, but it's not in Utah, it's not a school sanctioned sport as it is for a lot of states. It's not as popular as in most states as it is in Hawaii. So it's like the school isn't paying funds for a volleyball program, basically.
Oh, so it's like cheerleading.
Yeah, kind of. But we would still like, I think every other weekend we would like represent our schools and go play other schools like at this big and play like 3 games, something like that. We didn't have like we had like a states and stuff like that, but it was like you kind of just showed up like every 2 weeks and like played games.
Okay.
So
more like intramural.
Kind of, yeah, but you would represent your school.
Okay.
But that was good for me because I was still getting bad grades at that time. So since it's not a school sanctioned sport, I didn't need good grades to play.
Okay, yeah, that's a perk. That worked out for you.
Yeah.
So what was your time in Utah like?
Interesting. Growing up here, there's a certain culture with like aloha and like mannerisms and like how you're raised, especially by Polynesian parents. And Utah was very like, I didn't click with any of them. Mm-hmm. But luckily my sisters went like, we're what is it when you're born in the same year? Like
Siamese twins or something?
Something like that, yeah. Because I'm like the same age as her for like 5 days or something. So she's like 1 year older than me. Okay. So I basically was just friends with her.
You and your sister are really close?
Yeah, especially now. We're definitely really close now. But yeah, when I was in Utah, I made one really good friend that I'm still friends with to this day. His name is Jameson. He just married our coach at the time. But she was young at the time too. So it's not super weird. She's
not weird.
She's like 2 years older than him or something. 3 years maybe.
Fine.
But we would always like mess around because I was a rascal at that time. We were both stupid and just like messing around with her. And
I want to ask like what kind of trouble you got into, but I'm not going to.
It's actually funny. You can because I did a lot of dumb stuff, but I wasn't like a bad kid. More.
No, I feel you. So like when I was a kid, like that weird like 12 to 14 age, we used to like go to this little pavilion and they had like that big, those like big decorative fountains that they have in the middle?
Yeah.
We would put Dawn dish soap in it. So then there was
That's nice.
Bubbles.
I haven't done that one. I've heard of it and I'm sure we've thought of I haven't. That's
it's
smart.
It's crazy because it gets motion,
really bad, though.
Of the water hitting it, it like foams up and it doesn't
bubbly.
stop. They have to stop. They have to like turn off the whole fountain and pump all the water out. It's definitely not okay, and I don't think I can still get in trouble for saying that. It was me and my friends, but
I would go swim in the fountains, but we would like, because till this day I've still never like drank or smoked or done any of that. 22 years old, still clean with all that stuff. I stay away from that. And we would like, let me think, like a good example. Oh yeah, like freshman year, maybe sophomore year, like my best friends are twins and I grew up with them since like kindergarten. So those were the kids I was doing dumb stuff with.
Right.
And we're very competitive, very knuckleheads.
Very boys.
Yes, classic. And I think it was like freshman year, might have been sophomore year. We were arguing about who could like parallel park better in a car, and we don't know how to drive.
Wait, how old are you for context?
14.
Okay.
15 maybe.
So it's a bad idea.
So we don't know how to drive
from the beginning.
And we're like, all right, come to my house at 2:00 in the morning.
No.
And we'll settle this.
Whose car is
like
it?
Men. So we took my mother's car at 2 a.m. and we went to like the nearest parking lot. I think it was KCC parking lot. We had like a parking competition. We were like running over curbs and like definitely don't know any rules of the road. I mean, luckily there's nobody on the road.
Oh my gosh.
But like that's the kind of dumb stuff I would do with my friends. Like it was mainly just competition stuff. Like I didn't steal the car to go.
Was the car okay?
The car ended up all right. I didn't end up all right after a while because I came. We have egos, so we got away with it. So we were like, we can always get away with it.
That's the problem. Is when you don't get caught.
So
wait, who won?
Me for sure.
Are you just saying that?
No, I'm not. I'm good at parallel parking, especially now. Like especially the competition on Varsity Circle to go because I don't have a parking pass.
Oh.
The competition on Varsity Circle is. I can parallel park anywhere.
Okay, I'm not gonna like toot my own horn, but like I'm probably the best parallel parker you've ever met, and I'm not just saying that because you brought up parallel parking. I'm actually so good at parking my car. It has to be my car.
I'm always
because
down.
I know my car.
I'm always
but like
down
I can
for
fit
a
anywhere.
parallel parking competition.
Run it. Like
so if we want to do that, we can.
It has to be my car though, because any other car, like I can't. Like it's hard for me to get a feel for it.
I'm down. I'll take the challenge. I'll take the home team advantage.
Okay, set it up. Support for Hawaii Players Pod comes from Hawaii Pacific Health, providing you and your family close to home care for non-emergency injuries and illnesses, including sprains, the flu, and more. No appointment necessary. hawaiipacifichealth.org/urgent care. What was it like growing up in the Mormon church?
Growing up, I was pretty rascal. So I was like, I didn't really want to be there. Or it was just like,
I feel like no kid wants to be in church. I remember like going to church because I grew up Southern Baptist, and like I was always like crawling under the pews in church and like
playing with
like,
toys, getting
going
in
in
trouble.
the bathroom and like all the toilet paper.
Yeah. So I would definitely mess around. And like when I was young, our ward, basically like where we made it every Sunday, was pretty big. So I had a lot of friends, and we would just like a bunch of Polynesian kids who like play football and big. Like we would just like wrestle and like get in trouble all the time. So it's like.
But you said you were small, so how are you wrestling all the poly kids?
I guess I'm tough, but I was like, they were ragdolling me around.
I'm sure.
So honestly, now that I'm thinking about it wasn't that fun.
No, not that fun for
I was just
you.
like begging for my life. Guys, stop! And he's throwing me around. But yeah. So then eventually I found God on my own, and I'm started like my family is like my sister and like my dad went half the time anyway. But like it was weird because both sides of my family are actually Mormon. My mom and my dad's, yeah. And my mom and my dad's both play volleyball. So both sides of the family are actually pretty
mirror each other.
Pretty similar, yeah.
It's kind of that's cool.
Yeah.
It's different because normally you have like two parents from different backgrounds.
Yeah. And ethnically they're pretty similar too. Like I'm pretty mixed. And so I found that on my own once I fell in love with like volleyball basically. And I got into the whole like relationship with God, athlete type of lifestyle. And I'm still in that pretty much. So I still go to church. Like now, like my sister and my mom, like they gotta, because my parents are split now. And so my sister and my mom, they gotta work. And then my dad's on his own doing his thing. He lives here still. And so I still go, but I go like by myself.
Yeah, I go to church by myself too sometimes. I can feel you on that.
Cause I'm the only one who does, or like doesn't have work or anything on Sundays. So I just go. So I still have a good relationship with God for sure.
Do you go, because I know there's a big Mormon church in the North Shore. Do you go all the way up there?
I don't. That's the temple.
Oh, it's different?
Yeah, so that's like...
I'm sorry, I'm not super familiar with Mormon.
No, that's totally cool. Honestly, either mine. All those years going as a kid, it was in one ear, out the other.
Yeah.
So, like, in terms of like... I'm going through a phase where it's like, there's Mormon and then there's Christian. They're very, very similar. And there's not like... Mormons believe in everything that like Christians believe in.
Right.
They just have another book,
The
which is the Book of Mormon, which is like basically like add-ons of like certain things.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you what all of those are because like I never really paid attention. I just like I still go to the Mormon church now because like I don't go to the classes or anything, but I go to like the sacrament because like I grew up with all these people, all the aunties, and they, I like seeing all the aunties. They always ask me how the games are and stuff. So it's like I had good people that have good relationships with God. So
like, from what I understand of Mormon is like you guys lean more towards like the Old Testament.
I think so, yeah.
So do you guys only study the Old Testament and then the Book of Mormon, or do you also study the New Testament?
No, yeah, we have the New Testament. So like most kids when they get baptized, if they're in the church as a kid, they get like this big scripture book, and it's like everything, it's like Old Testament, New Testament, and then in the back is like the Book of Mormon. So it has like my name on it.
Okay.
So it's like we definitely do everything, but like in terms of like, that's why when people ask me if I'm like Mormon or Christian, I'm like,
yes.
yes, like. I just know that I have a relationship with God, but like when it comes to like the things that Mormons do, like and going to the temple and like coffee, the word of wisdom, all that stuff, I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the Mormon is like more like fundamental.
Something.
And about like more like what you do, like worldly things, and then Christian is more like about just accepting God as your savior and then like living in the path of righteousness, but knowing you're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely have that part, like my relationship with God's tight. I pray every night. Give the credit to it where it's due, stuff like that. So
did you go on a mission?
I didn't know. I was pretty locked in on volleyball, and I didn't pay attention enough as a kid to really be able to go teach people that. So no, I didn't go. I have some good buddies that went though, but I didn't go. I was pretty focused on volleyball.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. So I guess back to volleyball a little bit. We'll reel it back in. When you were a senior, so you were in Utah and then you
I
came back,
junior year of high school.
graduated from Keoni High School, and then what did like your senior year kind of look like when you were thinking about going to college, whether you wanted to play volleyball in college? Like, were you being recruited? Were you looking at schools?
No, I didn't get recruited by anybody. So volleyball is pretty political, and they recruit early, like really early. Like they look at freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, actually, I think when we talked to Kate Lang a couple episodes ago, she was saying how she was recruited like very early. I think it was like her sophomore.
That's typically
year.
how it goes, and it's like so weird to me because like kids are hitting puberty at that time. Like they can
Yeah, you don't know
change
what you
into a
want.
totally different person in the next 2 years. But so I learned all the fundamentals like my junior year, fell in love with it. My senior year, I really like. I fell in love with it so much. My junior year, I like full cut everyone else off. It was just like me and the twins. They kind of locked down. They buckled down too. They had like a business stream that they wanted to achieve. So we kind of luckily we had each other, and then we were allowed to basically made the decision to like cut everyone else off and like, all right, like this is what we gotta do. Like we're behind because we've been acting like idiots the past 2 years. So we need to lock in, like basically sacrifice what we need to sacrifice so we can get what we want later, like follow our dreams and stuff.
Yeah. What were
So-
like the things that you sacrificed?
Basically time with everyone else, the average stuff everyone else is doing. Like everyone wanted to go
Like going out.
see what a party was like
Yeah.
and like do all that stuff, and we're like, nah, this is crazy. Like we would meet each other, talk about what we want, and it was a super healthy relationship. Like I could talk about those guys all day.
Yeah.
But in terms of volleyball, so I was grinding and I was improving at a really fast rate, and I was like, I fell in love with like, once you start getting results of something, you start getting pretty addicted to it.
Yeah, you
So-
get like obsessed with the
yeah,
results.
so we were, all three of us were lifting, I was getting way stronger. Like we became lunch ladies, like lunch dudes, because they would give you more food if you worked with them,
Oh my
because
god.
we needed more nutrition
You
to get
worked
bigger.
in school.
Yeah, so I was
You
serving
can do
people's
that?
lunches. Yeah, I was serving lunch, and then after, like, you can get like 2 massive plates, like if you wanted to.
That's so different.
Yeah,
That's cool though.
it was cool. It was nice. So we were getting our nutrition to get bigger, to get stronger, stuff like that. And so I got really good my senior year, like in terms of like public school here.
Mhm.
So I was kind of dominating the game. But at that point, recruiting was pretty much already over.
Yeah.
And like
they were-
volleyball season is in the spring, and it's at the end. So it's like my senior year at the end.
Oh.
So like everyone's been
okay.
recruited already.
That makes a lot of sense. So you would literally have to be almost recruited your junior year,
Yeah.
because doesn't volleyball kind of run past the school year sometimes?
Yeah. For college it does. But like for high school boys, it's like,
Yeah, by the time like your senior year is over, like you're basically already signed up for your first year of college
yeah.
classes.
And then it's like your last club tournament.
Mhm.
Because then there's club. It's very rare you don't see, it's rare you see a kid play high school ball and then go play college without playing club. Like club volleyball is where all the recruiting is made. And then so I started that junior because that's where you travel. And then the coaches travel too and watch these big tournaments.
Okay, so kind of like AAU for basketball.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. Yeah, so we had that, and I played on a team with a bunch of other public school kids.
Mhm.
So we weren't like insane. We won, like my last year in the summer of my senior year, we won nationals, but it was for like, there's like open division, which is like the best guys, and there's like USA division, and then there's club division, and we were in the middle.
Mhm.
So we won that, but like not a lot of coaches are looking at those 2 divisions. They're looking
Yeah.
at open division, obviously. So yeah, I didn't really get recruited or anything like that. Luckily, like during that summer, Josh Walker, he called me,
Mhm.
and he
Who
was
was that?
down. He said, he was like, "Oh, like you can come walk on for us if you want." And
I'm sorry, who's Josh Walker?
so he was our assistant coach at the time. He
for
just
UH.
yeah.
Okay.
So we have a new one. His name is Keoni Thiim,
Okay.
and he used to play for UH. He's a great guy. Josh Walker. So my first year at UH, Josh Walker was still the head coach, and he played for Mike actually.
Your
my grandpa.
grandfather?
Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of a small world moment. He allowed me the walk on card, and I needed so this is how bad I was freshman, sophomore year, like, with grades. I needed a 2.5 accumulative to walk on,
Yeah, it's like what, a C average, a little bit higher.
Yeah. And so my junior year, I averaged a 2.8, and my senior year, I averaged a 3.5.
What?
Yeah, but my freshman and sophomore year, when I had like nothing going for me, I was just doing whatever I want. I averaged like 1.5, 1.3, 2.0 maybe on a good day.
I'm not laughing at you.
No, I mean you can. I would laugh at myself. It was ridiculous. I didn't have like a purpose there. I was just doing whatever I wanted, and so at the end, I think my whole accumulative was like 2.4.
So you're talking about your freshman and sophomore year of college, right?
No, high school.
Of high school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that like your last 2 years you did well, but it wasn't enough to overdo the damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So it just didn't average out the way you needed it.
Yeah, I was close.
That makes sense.
I needed 2.5, but I had 2.4.
Okay.
He was like, all right, then you got to go to junior college, and you got to do that for 2 years, and then you can come. And I was like, all right, like I don't really have any other choice right now. So
Yeah.
so I went to junior college in Santa Barbara.
In California?
Yes.
Okay.
And I
Can you play in community college?
if they have it. Like KCC doesn't have
No?
sports,
Okay.
but like there's colleges that have like, yeah. So like there's like Santa Barbara University,
Mhm.
UCSB, and then like
Yeah.
there's SBCC, which
Right.
is like 20 minutes away from
Yeah.
UCSB.
I feel like every big school has like their
Little-
community college
yeah,
equivalent. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to that for Santa Barbara, and they have a good volleyball team, and it's like right on the beach, and they play like a lot of beach. So
So then like how did you keep up with your volleyball stuff if you weren't able to play there?
I was able to play there.
So you were able to play in community
Yeah,
college?
yeah. community college.
Okay.
I just wasn't allowed to walk on to UH right out of
Oh,
high
okay.
school.
That's where you lost me.
Yeah, sorry.
So gotcha. I'm back. I'm here.
Yeah.
So you did play those 2 years.
Well, one, because that first year I finished like 60% of the season, and then COVID hit.
Oh, I forgot about COVID.
Yeah, so I did a full year, or like almost a full year there before COVID hit, and we played, and we were doing really good.
That's so scary. Wait, so did you think that like, were you worried that you might not be able to come back to Hawaii? Just because at the time nobody knew what was going on?
At the time, no, because everyone thought it was just going to be like 2 weeks long.
Yeah.
So like as it started to play out, I guess I didn't.
But like a year in when like
I was
everything was still shut down, were you getting a little nervous?
Not really, because I only needed to go to junior college for an AA degree. I think if like academically out of high school, if you don't meet the requirements to go D1 right away, you have to get an AA degree before you can go. So that's
Okay.
kind of the only thing I really needed. I need my AA degree, so I did that, and then I finished the rest of that year online. And then the next year, I didn't do 2 years. Next year I was at KCC, and I was just no volleyball. Just like, or I
Did
just
you
like played a lot of beach, and I lifted a lot
I
of
think
weights.
that's where I saw you before because I
Queens.
used to go to Queens all the time
That was when like
during
that was the
COVID.
best.
And they would set up like a ton of nets and like they would play really intense like in the daytime, but then at sunset they would kind of let everyone come in and like play around, and I like played a couple of games, but I don't think I ever actually like played while you were playing because I think you left once like all the competitive games were like
Maybe.
still there. But I'm trying to, yeah. So me and my friend Justice, do you know Justice?
Potentially.
So he plays there, I think still. So he would come, he would invite us to go
Tall.
like all the time. Yeah, he's like tall. Polly. He used to have dreads and he cut them.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, super
Yeah,
cool.
so he would always like kind of recruit us all to come and like hang out. And it was good because nobody had anything to do.
Yeah.
So
I remember those days. That was
and
fun.
Mosey would set up the nets.
Yep, Mosey's cool.
Great guy. He's great to talk to. He always has good advice to
It
give.
looks like an almond milk dud. For context, this guy's at the beach every day.
No, he's just like
Every day.
super tan. Like,
He
have you seen that episode of SpongeBob when they're like tanning?
Maybe.
And
Wait, yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? And then
it's-
SpongeBob is like
It's like
super tan.
it's so smooth. His skin looks so like it's so weird. He's like, holy.
So he's dipped in chocolate.
He also door dashes.
Really?
I-
He used to be a doctor.
I went, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I went out in my underwear to go pick up some like canes that I door dashed, and it was Mosey. I was like, whoa, what's up, dude? And he's like, coming to Queens today? I was like, no.
No, so he has like the best advice because he's like been through so many walks of life, like from being a doctor.
Yeah, he has some stories.
He's a great guy, 10 out of 10 guy.
And I think he refs the girls' games, the beach volleyball girls.
I believe it.
I've seen him
He's
repping it.
very like
He's just
in
out
the
there.
community. Yeah.
Doing it. Good for him.
So, but yeah, so you played at Queens the like, the odd year when everyone was doing God knows what during COVID. And then when was it time for you to go back to school?
After the second year, so after like during COVID, most people were taking like online courses or whatever, and I was taking online school at KCC, and I finished that year, and then I got my AA degree, and then they let me come to UH. So that following year, so the year I was at KCC, they won the national championship,
Yeah.
but that was when like no fans were allowed still,
Mhm.
all that stuff. So like I was kind of watching that on TV, and they won that, and then the next year I came, we won again, but we were still like wearing masks, kind of
Mhm.
doing stuff like that, and they slowly started letting people in.
You just glossed over like winning a national championship like it was nothing.
Well, I was a freshman. I was just happy to be there. Like I was just working hard.
So like was it like what did it feel like to be like in the program? Like okay, so they called you after COVID, right?
Mhm.
And now you're like in the program that your grandfather like built a little bit essentially.
Yeah.
Did it feel weird? Did you feel like you were supposed to be there?
I feel like a lot of stress was relieved because before it was very like I was hoping this was gonna happen or I was hoping this was gonna work out or
Mhm.
like a bunch of things were in the air. But like once I got there, it was very like more like uniform. Like okay, I'm already here, so it's like I don't gotta worry about anything. I just gotta go to class and I gotta work hard. And I
Yeah.
gotta everything was set for the next. So that was. But
Was the workload what you thought it would be? Like as far as like the workouts and like the like level that you had to play at?
it was okay for me because I was like, especially once I locked in junior year of high school and like got into that grind mindset, I was probably doing more on my own
Mhm.
than I was, which was like good and bad at times. But yeah, I was already a workaholic by that time. I was like going hard every day. That's a pretty funny story because I was going too hard my first year.
Too hard.
Yeah, and then I got hurt my first year in the fall. We were all training, and then
What happened?
just I was kind of a meathead.
You have a lot of names for yourself.
I was kind of a meathead, especially like my senior year of high school and like freshman year of college and like COVID.
So you went from a rascal, graduated to meathead.
Yeah, we're getting some titles.
Okay.
Especially during COVID because my cousin that I was living with, Larry Tuileto. So Larry Tuileto played for UH as well. He was a libero, All-American libero, and that's on my dad's side.
Okay.
So I pretty much our houses were like connected as kids. So like I knew their family. Like we didn't go in their house, but like it was connected. Type of
Okay.
thing.
So it was like kind of like a family like,
Yeah.
duplex.
Yeah, so they're my cousins, and growing up, I'd always had some cousins or something to play around with and stuff. And during COVID, he what happened? He like bought a bunch of stuff like weights.
Mm-hmm.
So we called it the cave, and because his dad's like the original Larry, he's works like construction, and he's like super high up there, so he has permits to like build wherever.
Oh, you like
technically.
built something.
So like we built like in our front yard, it's like concrete ground. We like built like a overhead thing. He put like fans and like.
So you like built a gym.
Yeah, we like built an outside gym.
That's
it was
crazy.
It was so funny because once we did it and we started posting on social media because we were like working out and like everyone's like, oh, like we gotta come over and work out. It was kind of nitpicky who we would bring over because
like really exclusive gym.
Yeah, because it was in our front yard. You can like
it's your house.
see in our house and stuff like
Fair.
that. So like
Okay,
we
that's
brought some like really close friends, family friends, or like cousins maybe. But yeah, so lifting was big. Like I was lifting with my cousin, and he's way older, and he was like he's done with volleyball, so he got more into bodybuilding. So
bodybuilding's cool.
Yeah.
So like, I couldn't imagine like being that like, educated on like where to work out and like what parts of your body to work out. Like they work out every little muscle.
Yeah, it's pretty. I can get good grades on that if we
Bodybuilding.
tested it. Yeah.
So you're like into health and fitness.
Yeah. So I was more into bodybuilding and volleyball kind of at that
Really?
point because it was COVID and there was not a lot of volleyball being played besides like beach.
Is that something that you wanted to pursue? Like, did you ever compete?
Yeah. If I'm no, because it's pretty contradictory to volleyball. Because in volleyball you have to be lean and like mobile,
Oh yeah.
and
that's
bodybuilders
true.
are not mobile
Just, like,
at all.
Super meaty.
Massive, yeah,
Gotcha.
strong, but But I lifted a lot. So like going back to the whole getting hurt my freshman year.
Oh yeah, you never told me what happened.
Yeah, because I was a meathead, and like something about 20 guys in a gym like hitting max PRs, and everyone's like, the way we do it is like one person goes at a time on testing week, and everybody is around them like screaming in your face to like lift it up. Like you ever seen like football videos or like just sports videos where they're like hitting PRs and everyone's like, so that's what happened to me. And I'm already a meathead, so I'm already fired up and putting on way too much weight than I should be.
Yeah.
And I was so strong. I hit.
You were so strong.
I had four plates on that thing, and I squatted 4 plates. But like
4 plates, like those are the 45. Okay,
so that's 405 pounds.
Jeez.
And I'm super light. I was like 167 at most at that time. So I was definitely meathead, and it wasn't really that day that hurt it, but it was like the next day I was willing to put on similar weight, like over and over and over and over.
So you hurt
like when we did like deload weeks.
Deload.
Which is like less weight to like kind of rest and recover or focus more on volleyball. I didn't really do it. I was throwing on the weight. So eventually I hurt my back, and then I couldn't practice for like 3 weeks, and it kind of just like made my first year a little bit more hard.
Oh, well, that was silly.
Yeah, I learned my lessons from that. So I do a lot of my meathead stuff in the summer now.
Okay.
Because you have to stay strong in the summer. Because you come back from the fall a week.
Do you guys work out in the summer? Like, with
no, lucky for us, like, since it's a spring sport, once summer hits and we're done with volleyball and school's done, you're on your own.
So you really have like your whole summer break?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of nice, but it's probably like you're really like policing yourself to like stay into shape.
Yeah, and I never really had a problem with that. I've been like.
Is there anything you'd like to do? Like, is there anything you like to do like outside of volleyball other than weightlifting? Like, do you surf or like bodyboard or?
I wasn't really a water baby.
No.
Not too much. No. Like I always wanted to with my cousins and stuff, but my fingers and my toes get really cold.
Oh really?
Like.
You anemic?
Should
get that looked at.
Yeah, maybe. It was like purple, like hurts. Cold.
In Hawaii?
Yeah, which is weird. So like I could only really be in the water for like an hour tops.
Do you get the like when I got into the water as a kid? I got like the chattery jaw, like.
Oh yeah,
you got that? I got that.
And I was
all
like
the time.
skinny, so I was like, I could never go have fun as long as everyone else. So I didn't really. I was just like, well, it's not very fun for me. So I didn't end up like I surfed like especially during COVID because we could. Like I was surfing a little bit with my cousin, but nah, I'm not really big water baby.
Anything else other than like volleyball and
great question.
Like, do you hike or do you read?
I have my phases.
Do you like? I love to play chess. So like that's like my favorite thing.
I'm okay, but Kurt, like I know how to play chess and I play a lot, but I've never really like studied it in terms of like strategies of.
I never studied it. I just like to play. Like I'll play on my phone like before bed.
Yeah, I'll play.
You know, people like scroll on TikTok or something. Yeah. Like I'm like playing chess on my phone.
It's fun. It's fun. I know. I'm like playing during Spanish class, like chess. Yeah, I like chess too. I don't play it as much as you do, I'm sure, but.
Do you?
My team has big chess matches before games.
Really? Volleyball team? That's a fun fact.
I don't play too much.
And Kurt is like
Kurt's
good
like
at.
really good at it. Yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe there's a couple guys that are really good at it, and they all play each other. If I go and try to play, I just get whooped by all of them. So it's like, well, I don't really want to play with you guys.
Maybe I'll ask Kurt to play. I'm not like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not like that. I'm good. Like I am good at it, but I'm not like. Yeah. I don't like study.
Yeah, he knows like the stages of the game and like the whole 3-4 steps ahead thing. I'm like,
no, we're probably more on the same level.
We should play.
We should play.
Parking.
I should have brought the chessboard.
We're gonna park and then we're gonna play chess.
We can do it as like a relay, like chess, and then run to the car, and whoever parks it first.
This is gonna be biggest competition of all time.
Oh, that would be funny. So like, you kind of like to read.
I have my phases. Maybe? I like to read, and I know it's good for you, but I'm only like I can do it for a while, and then I hate it. But but I know it's good for you, and like I try to read as much as I can. But it's like, and I have really short like attention span.
Okay, that's fair. So what was the last book you read?
I really like motivational books. My favorite book.
Have you read Atomic Habits?
Yeah.
I love that book.
Yeah, I'm on like Champion's Mind or something right now, and like I read like a John Wooden book and like The Art of War.
I've never read those.
My favorite book that's not like I read The Outsiders. You remember that?
I haven't read that one.
I feel like a lot of schools made kids read it in like 7th grade. It's about like it's like these two little gangs.
No, I didn't read that.
Greasers.
We had to read like the Odyssey and like Of Mice and Men and like
You ever
The
heard of
Great
like Pony
Gatsby.
Boy?
No.
Oh.
What books did you guys read?
That's one. It's from outside. It was like 2 gangs.
Did you guys read like Animal Farm?
I don't know.
We had to read all of those.
So it's off and on. Like I'll try to do it because I know it's good for me, but it'll last for like 2 months, and then I won't read for like 6 months probably.
That's fair. And you like read the Bible?
Yeah.
And stuff, yeah. So I mean that counts.
Yeah.
Have you like ever read it like start to finish?
Mm-mm.
Me neither. Like I feel like everyone's grandma has it. Like
my attention span is too. I cannot.
and then do you like have a favorite kind of music?
I'm pretty versatile.
Okay, hold on. Time out. So if you were like before a game, you're in the locker room, like what are you listening to?
I'm actually kind of a big sounds tunes guy. Like I have a huge speaker in the locker room that we all use, and it's like unnecessarily loud. Like probably the worst financial purchase I've ever made.
But what's playing?
So usually we switch it up. Depends on what the team. Like for me, depends on the mood. Really, I've before games I've listened to like Giveon or like
sad?
sometimes if it's like that if I'm like locked into that music, I'm playing that music. Or like sometimes if I'm like for lifting, I'll listen to like funk, just like
Who?
ear destroying, like
Rock music?
kinda. Yeah. It's like a newer, it's called Brazilian funk. And like a lot of lifters are like listening to it now, and it's like basically just screams in your ear.
You're gonna have to show me what that sounds
Yeah,
like.
it's kind of nuts. It's loud and kind of just gets you going. So that's if you're like lifting, like PR, or even sometimes before games. If I'm like getting really amped, if that's the mood, then I'll do that. Or obviously the occasional rap. We'll listen to rap, get hype.
Mm.
Yeah, I have a big R&B playlist. I have a big throwback playlist. My throwback playlist.
Love
Kinda nuts.
throwbacks.
It's pretty good.
Who do you think's like the best artist of our generation?
Our generation. I like old Riri.
Old school Rihanna.
Mhm.
That's not a bad answer.
She's good.
It's good.
That fired me up. That still fires me up.
Riri.
Yeah.
So like if you guys win the Natty again, like know that Riri was involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
She would be on the playlist for sure.
That's
Our
good.
team had a Doja Cat phase. That was pretty funny.
Doja Cat, when she first came out, she was good. She's getting a little
It was more just like a-
satanic for me.
I'm not listening to new Doja, but I think it was like my first year. We were all blasting it.
Yeah. She's like, she used to be like really funny to like, or not funny, but like was a good performer.
I
Like-
think we just had a phase because she was like trending and we were all like men in the
She's
locker room,
pretty.
and we just thought it was funny that a bunch of dudes before games jamming out to some Doja.
Oh, I thought you were saying because she's like pretty.
No, like before
because
the
you're
games.
getting
we were
all
just like,
riled up.
"Shoots."
Gotcha. So what are your like expectations for your season this year?
Try not to expect too much of it. Got a lot of new pieces fit together. A lot of new guys. We lost a lot of guys this past year. And,
Yeah. So do you like see yourself stepping into like a leadership role since you're one of the ones that are
I've
returning?
had to. Yeah. Accepting it's been a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our coach is very mystery box of chocolates type of guy. Never really know what to expect from him. He's very businesslike.
Gotcha.
So
So you've won a national championship before, but you didn't, you weren't as seasoned as you are now.
Mhm.
So are you like looking forward to like winning another national championship, but actually being like a hand in winning that?
yeah, I mean that's the dream. Definitely wakes me up in the morning, or keeps me up at night at least. Still working hard for that.
Is that the goal?
Yeah. I hope everyone's goal is to win a natty.
Yeah, you would think.
It should be. So going to practice every day. Like, yeah, I got practice. We just got off the flight and we got practice today. So
That's crazy.
we'll be in the gym in a couple hours.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's a dream to me. So, and I have this year and I have one more.
Okay, so we'll see you again then.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, we got to wrap it up, but I do want to ask you, like, what are you excited to do, like, when volleyball is over? Like, what are your plans after volleyball?
In terms of like the summer or just like
No, like your life.
Oh,
Like,
I
what
want
do you wanna
to
do?
go overseas. and play more volleyball, basically.
So professional.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go pro. Our assistant coach Milan Zarkovic, he's very well known around the world, and he's from Serbia. So, and that's why he's a big reason why we recruit a lot of players internationally, because he's super well known, great guy, incredible coach. He's the biggest reason why we win.
Mm-hmm.
He's his technical genius, but he has a lot of connections basically. So, using him to help me and get connections and agency and stuff, I'm gonna go play pro indoor, and then in an ideal world, I'll play that as long as I can and somehow get some pretty solid contracts, and then go play a beach because it's less taxing on the knees and stuff.
Interesting.
That's what that's kind of like everyone's ideal volleyball career.
Gotcha. And your degree will be in
Sociology.
Okay, so you always have that as well.
I don't know what I can do with it, but
do something. Do you have anything any merch or anything you want to shout out before we close up?
No, but I should make merch because everyone always asks me. I have a pretty big following, so a lot of kids always want some merch from me. So I should probably hop on that.
Yeah, so we'll call that coming soon. Yeah. Stay tuned.
And YouTube. I gotta do YouTube too. That's where the money's at.
Okay, so we've got some projects to work on.
I do that.
Well, thanks for coming on and thanks for talking to me. We kind of rambled for a little while, but it was a pleasure having you.
Yeah, I'm kind of a yapper. Thank you for having me though. It was a blessing. Great opportunity.
Great. Good luck this season.
Thank you very much.